Hi, my name is Shauna Guzman, and I'm a fitness and wellness coach, yoga teacher, sound healer, and I am going to take you through a shoulder flow. So I'm going to make this one as short as possible. There's so many great things that you can do for the shoulder. So I'll try to keep this one under 20 minutes. So let's first start with what you'll need. Preferably in all my flows, a couple of blankets are always nice, a bolster, a strap, and a couple of blocks. So we are going to start today with a supported seated posture. So what you're going to do is this is going to be a really nice chest opener. So it's really going to open up the shoulders. We spend a lot of time at our desks and on our phone. And so this is a great way to just open up the shoulders and the chest. So what you're going to do is you're going to set up a block. One is going to be standing up a little bit higher. The other one is going to be flat. And then you're going to just lay the bolster basically the top of the bolster is going to be on that furthest foam block. And you're going to place basically your glutes right up against the bolster. And you'll just go ahead and lean back with your head at the top. And whatever you'd like to do with your legs, I'm just going to go ahead and I like to bring the soles of my feet together and just let the knees fall. You could, if you had some blankets, support the knees if you're not as flexible in the hips, or you can just straighten the legs and go ahead and just let the palms come up. And just let the shoulders relax and let the chest open. Go ahead, if you feel comfortable, just close your eyes. Or if you'd like, you can just keep a soft gaze. And we're just going to start with some breaths, just a few breaths to just kind of settle in and just let the posture do the work in letting the shoulders go back and the chest just kind of lift. Let's just take a couple of breaths. If you have a yoga practice, I always encourage to do the Ujjayi breath, which is breathing through the nose, exhaling through the nose with a small constriction in the throat to make that oceanic wave sound. So that sounds like if you don't have that in your practice, you can always just inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth with kind of pursed lips. And let's take two more just like that. And just let your body melt into the cushion. Let the mind empty. And just relax. One more breath. Excellent. And go ahead and just if you have your legs straight, go ahead and bring the soles of the feet to the ground. And we're going to go ahead and start on our right side. So go ahead and roll to the right side. You can just come off your bolster there. And let's go ahead and just move that out of the way. And actually, I am going to use the bolster. I'm going to put the bolster between my knees just because that's more comfortable for me. And we're going to start with some thoracic sweeps of the shoulder. This does a couple of things. It does, it's kind of a twist, so it helps in in the top of the thoracic spine, but also it's really nice for the shoulder. And I'm going to go ahead and I have a rolled up blanket here. So I'm going to use this sort of as my pillow, which is nice. And you're going to bring the palms of your hands together. And we're going to go ahead and start sweeping, which I'm going to push these out of the way because I'm probably going to hit them. So you're going to start this sweep with the palm facing down, and you're going to go overhead. And then start to rotate the shoulder so the palm will start to face up. And this is where the thoracic twist is going to happen. Don't worry about, the hand making contact with the ground. Just go ahead and just take these natural sweeps, and we're going to go 5 more on this side, just nice and slow and controlled. So again, palm facing. And as you kind of get to the top here, then you're going to rotate and the palm is going to be facing up. And then going and meeting the hand back. Make sure that you're breathing. And as you do this, you might find some little tightness points. Like I typically feel a little tightness right about here. This is kind of the biggest stretch. So if you want to kind of hang out here a little bit longer, and you may hear some crunches along the way, which is completely normal. And we'll go one more. Excellent. Okay. And let's go ahead and switch sides. So I'm going to so I'm staying facing you, I'm going to just go to the end of my mat, move my pillow here, and keep that bolster right between my legs because that's what's comfortable for my low back. And again, arms out, palms are going to be touching. And we'll start with that overhead, bringing that palm facing the ground and sweeping up and overhead and back. And palms meeting again. And just like everything, you may feel one side that's a little, tighter than the other. And that's okay. And I always like to start with some dynamic movements like this. It gets the blood flow. Gets the fluid in the joints. Moving. I think it's always great to start before you go into any static stretching where you're basically staying still. I think it's really important to first start with some movement like this. And we'll make this the last one. And palms will meet. Great. So go ahead and sit up. I always use my hands to get me to get to a seated position. If you had a blanket for your head, you can now bring that out of the way, and you'll either want a block, or if you have your cushion, you can use a cushion. We're going to go into a seated position, and you can sit cross-legged. The further your hips up, the easier this position is, especially if you have sensitive knees. You could also, if this is not comfortable, if you want your legs straight, you could have your legs straight. Whatever is going to feel best for you and your body. But again, to take the pressure off the knees, you could even sit higher if you wanted to. So you could stack a couple of blocks, or a block maybe a little bit higher than this, or a few blankets. So we're just going to start with some arms going overhead. So again, still in more of a dynamic movement stage. So we're going to go ahead and let the arms reach up. Inhale on the way up. Chest up, look up. Exhale on the way down, and then go ahead and bring the knees. We're going to touch the knees, and we're going to go ahead and go into a little bit of a cat position with that upper back. And what that's doing is we're going into this kind of full range of motion with our shoulders. So think about, in a strength movement, when you go to do a seated row, you're in this position. So we're just, going back and forth, doing a little bit of cat and cow with the upper body and shoulders. So go ahead and you're going to go ahead and bring the chest up, and then arms will go all the way up overhead. Palms can touch and meet, look up. You can even get a little bit of a back bend if you want. And then exhale all the way down. Touch the knees, and then go ahead and just round the upper back. And I like to go a little side to side here. It always feels a little good on the shoulders. And then chest up. We'll go a couple more of these. Arms up. Inhale. And exhale all the way down, chin down. And roll the shoulders. Good. Let's go one more. Inhale, arms up. And exhale. Chin down. I lied. Let's go one more. And inhale up. Reach, reach, reach. And exhale. Down and round. And then go ahead and go back to that neutral position. Maybe shake that out a little bit. And just come to stillness. I always like to kind of take moments in stillness just to kind of feel the sensations after that dynamic movement. Good. And let's go ahead and go into a tabletop position, so you won't need the bolster, at least for right now. And we're going to do some scapular, kind of scapular cat-cows, if you want to call it that, or scapular push-ups on all fours. So think about, I know this can be sort of challenging to think about, but we have these two shoulder blades. So when we go to do this, these scapular push-ups on all fours, think about the shoulder blades basically coming in and meeting, and then you are separating them as far apart as you can. So bring the palms of the hands just in line with the shoulders, fingers spread wide, knees just right underneath the hips. And what you're going to do is keep the arms straight, and you're going to push up and bring those shoulder blades apart, and then press down, and the shoulder blades are going to come together. Inhale, spread the shoulder blades apart. Exhale, bring the shoulder blades together. Let's go 3 more. So inhale, spread the shoulder blades apart. Exhale, bring them together. 2 more. Good. Okay. So now we're going to go more, now that we got the shoulder blades kind of warmed up, shoulders warmed up, and all types of ranges of motion, we're going to go ahead and go into some of our first static holds. This one is thread the needle with thread the needle with the shoulder. We have thread the needle with the hip, and we also have thread the needle with the shoulder. And actually, I'll go ahead and just start on this side since I'm already really here. So we're going to go ahead and lift the left arm high up, and then you're going to thread it through so that the shoulder is at the ground here. So you're going to feel the stretch here, and then I like to also get this stretch here where this arm is reaching across, and just hips kind of stay up. And we're going to take about 5 breaths here. Let's just go ahead, and if you want, you can close the eyes. And get a nice reach here. A couple more breaths. One more. Good. And go ahead and walk that right hand in and bring that left arm back into that neutral position. And then we're going to go ahead and switch sides, and I'm going to go ahead and switch to this side so that you can see me. But we're going to go ahead and lift the right arm now up, and then go ahead and thread it through. Hips just kind of pop up, and then that left arm reaches out. You can just be on the, you can have a flat hand, or I like to be up on the fingertips just to get more of a stretch here. And let's just hold this here for about 5 breaths. Two more. And one more. Excellent. And back up. And we'll just kind of roll the shoulders. We don't need to roll the hips, but just kind of roll the shoulders, just to kind of shake that out a little bit. Excellent. Okay. So let's go back into that seated position. We're going to do another great static hold. And this is where you're going to want to grab your strap, unless you have really good flexibility, external and internal shoulder flexibility. So go ahead and grab the strap. Go ahead and sit up straight, shoulders back. And I'm going to go ahead and just grab the strap with one hand, raise the arm up, and then you're going to bend it at your back. Then you're going to take this arm and go up, and then grab the other end of that strap. And we're just going to hold here, and I'm just going to turn around just to show you what this looks like. But basically you have one shoulder in that external rotation, and then one in, I believe it's internal rotation. So we'll just keep holding here. And as we hold, you may start to open up, one side, or it may start to open up a little bit. And if it does, then you can just kind of keep getting closer and closer. But really allow for that left shoulder. Try not to pop it forward. Really try to keep it back. You can just kind of look down. A couple more breaths here. And release. Go ahead and kind of shake that out. That's always a sensitive one, at least for me. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the other side. So left hand is going to have the strap. And you're going to go ahead and just let that arm just fold down. Then with the right arm, going to go ahead and just crawl right up the back. Again, trying to keep that shoulder back. And yeah, just grab onto that strap. And hold and breathe. We'll hold here for 5 breaths. Two more breaths. And one more. And go ahead and release. And let's go ahead and just roll that out. Maybe just 5 shoulder rolls back. 5 shoulder rolls forward. And when you finish your last one, just kind of take a moment to ground again. Feel the sensations from that intense stretch. Okay. So getting into some of my favorites here, we won't be needing the strap for the rest of the time, but you will need your blocks and maybe either your bolster or a blanket. I think I will use the bolster. So the bolster, we're going to go into a child's pose. So the idea with the bolster is it's just kind of acting as support for your glutes, and maybe not. Also, if this is not a comfortable position for you to be in for a while, the support of the bolster is gonna help a bit here on the knees. So we're going to first start in we can move the blocks out of the way. We're just going to start in a child's pose. So you're going to reach the hands forward and forehead to the mat. Let's just feel this for a moment. Just a couple of breaths here. And then go ahead and grab your blocks. This is one of my favorites, really. What you're going to do is you're going to bring one block kind of more towards the knee and stretch out. So I'm starting with my right hand, right side, with the block towards the knee, and the left arm I'm stretching out. And we're going to turn this into kind of a dynamic. So maybe just hold it for just maybe one breath. And then go ahead and just switch sides. And then switch. One more on each side. And last one here. Yeah, really nice stretch all through here. Feels really good. Okay. Now we're going to go into just a side stretch. So you're going to go into that child's pose. And then let's go ahead and just walk the left hand and then allow for the right hand to follow. And you can just either put the right hand right over the wrist or right over the other hand and just get a nice stretch all along that right side. And let's just be here for a couple of breaths. And then back to the middle. Take a breath in the middle. And then other side, go ahead and walk towards the right edge of your mat. And then bring that left hand over the wrist. And you just want to feel that stretch all the way, the side body, all the way through the shoulder, into the arm. So if you're not feeling that, you may need to, walk a little bit further. And by grabbing the right wrist, it gives you a little leverage to get some stretch. A couple breaths here. And back to the middle for one last stretch here. If you want, you can go ahead and bring the hands into a prayer position. This is a really nice stretch for the triceps. And kind of inch the elbows a little forward. One more breath. And then go ahead and just crawl the hands back up and get into that seated position. Definitely lots of good sensations in the shoulder there. And I prefer, we're going to go into our last posture, which could be a Shavasana with you lying flat. Or you can go back into our chest opener that we started with, which I think is really quite restorative. So I'm going to go ahead and set my blocks up like we did in the beginning. So one block flat, the other one just on its side, top of the bolster there. And then if you really want to get restorative with it, you could use a blanket to cover yourself up. And again, you could have the legs straight, or if you'd like, you can have the palm or the soles of the feet facing. And I really enjoy the palms up because that just opens up the chest a bit more. Opens up the shoulders. And go ahead and close the eyes. And again, just let that breath sort of go. No need to have any awareness around it anymore. Just allow your body to sink into the cushion. And just take a moment or few of silence here. And with your eyes still closed, go ahead and bring awareness to your breath. Maybe start to move the fingers a little bit. And stretch out the legs if they're not already stretched out. And go ahead and stretch the arms overhead. And if you are on an elevated bolster, you can just turn to your side carefully, onto your right side. And then just go ahead and use your hands to get you back into a seated position. If you want, you could grab your bolster. Keep the spine nice and straight, and just take a moment to reflect on what you just did for your body. We seldom take the time to restore. A lot of it is just go, go, go. So having some gratitude around the self-care that you just did for your shoulders. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring, if you'd like, your hands into a prayer position. Maybe think about one other thing that you are grateful for. And I want to thank you for joining me on this shoulder flow. And wishing you a good rest of your day. Namaste. Thanks. I hope that was restorative for your shoulders. And if you have any feedback for me, please send it my way, or some other flows that you would like to see.